She
Pretty big girl since I saw her, I believe.
They grow fast.
They sure do. That's why I said, when I said about all the Sellars grandchildren. Wasn't no time Lisa Renee was that high? Now they've grown, got children of their own.
That they do grow.
They grow fast.
My baby is 4 now. She'll be starting kindergarten next year.
Now you're gonna have to send me some pictures of them because you didn't bring them so I could take the pictures this time.
These are their recent pictures.
We've got so many pictures, Dee. My goodness.
I know it.
And I know you have
honey,
too.
I've got 25 albums.
Oh,
Plus, I've got enough to feel about
we
6
don't have
more.
that. I mean, I don't have that many.
I mean these big ones.
So,
Pictures on both sides.
yes.
And I sat down to look through. The reason I'm late, I sat down and I was going to look through, flip some where I thought maybe I'd put them pictures back. I said, this is ridiculous. I got to get on the boat and get out of here.
It takes a long time.
Well, you can, now that you have my address, like right address.
Yes. Because I had one of Miss Sellars I wanted to give her. She was great-grandma, granddaddy.
My cousin
Yeah.
Liddy.
Yeah.
She's my cousin.
And,
First cousin.
yeah. We all one big happy family.
Right. We're all
Actually,
one
yeah.
family.
Right, that's, yeah.
Everybody's related to somebody somehow.
Just like they was talking about Thurman in that graveyard the other day. I said, well, he may think that his granddaddy or great-granddaddy might have given the land, but he gave the land for the church, for the graveyard, but Thurman's taking it over. But I said, my grandmother was a Nelson, was old man John Nelson's sister.
That's why it's called Nelson Cemetery.
Right. But he's taking it over and telling who can be buried there and who can't be buried there. He told me John Marcus couldn't be buried there.
Why?
See, when Mr. Sellars died, Mr. John Thurman, when they were down there talking, he showed Johnny where he could be buried. He said, y'all can have this road, you know, if you want it, for about 10 or 12 graves over. So Mr. and Miss Sellars was put there, and then I put Johnny there. So 2 of his friends, his and Bernice's friends, that was traveling through, they had 2 babies, living in Wilmington, something, had 2 babies they didn't know where to bury. So right on the other side of me, between Uncle Rolfie and where I'm supposed to be buried, they put them 2 babies.
Is that right?
He did.
Yes.
And so when Mary Nelson died, me and Mo and I were down there raking, and Kathy Ann's husband, Ron, they came down there with Thurman. Well, they were parked over in the road there, next to the fence. And I was raking over that Johnny's grave. Well, Marion's grave is right at the head of Johnny's and Mr. and Miss Sellars, Marion and Winnie's. So Mo was raking over around Ed. So Ron, he got through talking to him. He went over and sat down in front of his car. And Thurman was standing there talking to me. And he said, now, B, he said, you know you can't put nobody over there on the other side of you. I said, what do you mean I can't put nobody over there on the other side of me? I said, if you'll look, turn around and look, you'll see that there's no room to put nobody on the other side of me. He turned, of course, he was facing Marion's grave, like, and I was facing Johnny's. Sort of on this side of him, he was facing that way. And he turned around and he looked, I said, you and Bernice put let 2 friends put babies there, be buried. Strangers between Uncle Rolfie and where I'm supposed to be buried.
But that's not fair for them to take in strangers from somewhere else is buried, then they not let the home people.
That's right.
That isn't fair.
So I said, well, Thurman, I said, what you're telling me is that John Marcus, I couldn't put John Marcus in his family here if they were to die. He said, well, we're not letting anybody be buried here except ones that's already got spouses, you know. I said, you telling me if John or Susan or one of the children were to die, there wouldn't be space around here nowhere for them? He said, well, like I said, we're not letting anybody be buried here, only ones that's got spouses. And he has lied, Lizzie. He has let, of course, Ray's been buried down there. Tapper's not dead. He's let Mary and John put their tombstones down there. But Mary hadn't understand. She went and she told me, she said, if I can't be put there side of my mama, she said, we'll just go ahead and move Daddy, put Mama somewhere else, and we'll just go ahead and move Daddy.
I know Miss Mary John Scott there.
There's a couple of them out there.
She let they've let Tate Lucille put theirs down there. Since then, they've let Robert Justice be buried in there.
I was telling the children yesterday when we were down there, I'm gonna mark 2 spaces off there beside where I'm going to be put. I'm going, if they can do it, we
Right,
can.
right. You better do it.
You better mark it.
I'm gonna put bricks
Get-
around it.
Get yours tombstone if you can.
You see, I don't need 2 more spaces.
Uh-huh.
That's for Tyler, if he wants to be
Yeah.
there. No, and Phil on my other side. If I can just get them 2 spaces reserved, you know. That's
So,
all
well, that's why I told Dawn. I said, well, Lizzie, went down there, and Daddy's been down there since 1953. And Mama's faith, they've had a double tombstone there. We've had a double tombstone there. And Thurman and Diane went down there, and when Fabian died, Miss Mrs. Skipper's Fabian,
Yes.
they put her right up next to where Mama's feet were supposed to be, up right. Well, like Mama's feet would be here, they put her head right there. And then when Jiggs's wife died, they put her right up in Daddy's feet place. There's no place in between them. There wasn't even room to put Mama's and Daddy's footstones. After they moved them to dig the graves. I moved Daddy's. Mama's was up there next to it. She hadn't died at that time. And then there wasn't even room for her to put Mama in, squeeze Mama in there when she died. What bad shape Robert Justice was in for years and years. And he sat down there and worried about where he was going to be buried. After Thurman come out with all this stuff, you know, about he was just letting certain ones be buried down there. The cemetery was filling up. He had to have room for his family.
Yes, Thurman said that as long as there was spaces there for anyone to be buried, he said he wasn't going to expand it when he was filling up. That's what I
Well,
did say one time.
He told Sister as long as there was spaces down there, that if there was a need, they could be buried, but that's not what he told me. So I said, well, if that's the way he feels, I feel like my family, it was in my family too. The Nelsons were in my family too. My grandmother was a Nelson. And I went to church where they gave that cemetery for the church when Mr. and Miss Mintz gave the land for the church. Mr. and Miss Nelson gave the land for the right, for the cemetery. And I don't think it belongs to Thurman. Somebody said, Gwen said that he King Fox, you know, and she told me the man said there was room back there for 200 or 300 more graves, and she said they're going to go ahead and develop it.
Where's this at?
That's back of where Miss Hattie King used to step down
Where we
Bluff
come
Road.
Bluff Road yesterday.
Bluff Road.
Just a little ways back of them houses.
They cleared off that, and it's real pretty.
Well, that's close.
That's not that far off.
Mm-hmm.
I hate them. I have to move him. I told John Marcus, I said, if I don't get him moved before I die, I said, you can go ahead and bury me up there where Rose gives you tells you to bury me. Just pick out a lot and have Johnny move to this side of me with my insurance that I've got. If there's any left, you can have it.
So how you been?
I said, huh?
I says, what have you been up to lately?
Well, I've been babysitting mostly, Lisa. I haven't been getting out walking. The doctor wanted me to walk a mile or 2 a day to keep the circulation in my legs, you know, because since I've had diabetes. He said that was one of the most important things for diabetes is to keep the circulation going, you know, circulating real good.
Mm-hmm.
And especially the legs and feet. And I had gained, when I went back to him, I had gained 8 pounds December the 2nd. And then when I went back March the 3rd, I had gained 4 more. And he was so disappointed and upset.
Finish your spelling.
He was upset with me. And I said, no, I've got to go back June 1st. And I don't know, he's going to be more upset with me. So,
Did you gain weight?
Well, I gained back from about 138 to 150, 151, something like that.
Oh, goodness.
I came down from 163 when I first, took diabetes. But see, that the sugar was just coming out of my body faster than it was going in, and so with it not doing the work it was supposed to do, I just lost the weight. No, I mean it fell off.
Hmm.
My oldest daughter, before she
Yeah.
she had
Really? Does it run in your family or
No,
inside?
I don't remember anyone on my side nor
I don't
on
remember
Dad's
anyone else
side.
having diabetes.
Well, no, it runs on Mama's side. Aunt Macy's got it. Mama had it. That Mama and Aunt Macy. Hazel and Buddy's both got it. My brother and sister. And, of course, Uncle Wright's, a couple of his daughters has it. And it goes right on back in their family.
Hmm.
So I guess that's the reason I got it.
I know it was
I had-
hereditary.
Got it from,
Well,
I don't know.
As long as I worked and was active, I didn't eat that much starches and all, and I was active and I didn't have the weight on me that I had started gaining after I quit work. So after I quit work and started sitting around, I just started gaining weight and I took diabetes. Which anybody can have it if they want it, I'll give it to them.
You don't have to take shots, do you?
No, I take
Neither don't you.
a little pill,
That's what she
5
says.
milligrams of diabetic.
As long as she can keep it, her sugar and all balanced.
Right. But now I'm having problems with my cholesterol and triglycerides. They're high, and I thought mine was high, and I was worried about it, and Pearl was worried about me. Then when she had her test run, hers was higher than mine. Her triglycerides were like 300 and something. Mine wasn't 276.
I don't know much about that.
Her cholesterol was a little bit lower than that, and mine was about 256 or something like that. But the doctor was still concerned about it. He said, I want you to get on this walking program, and I want you to lay off fried foods. Spicy foods like spaghetti and stuff like that. A lot of starches. So I don't know. Can't eat anything I want anymore. I love fried flounder.
You can't eat fried foods anymore?
I'm not supposed to eat fried foods. And I love slaw and hush puppies and french fries. And that's just exactly what I'm not supposed to have.
That would be hard.
Every week,
Don't
once-
gain an ounce.
Once a week, Maud and I, or either Pearl and I, will go over to Pier 20 on College Road, and I'll get me some fried flounder and french fries and hush puppies and slaw. And I said, I know I'm breaking the golden rule. I have just got to have me some flounder. So, I didn't tell the doctor that. I told him, I said, I don't eat anything, I won't eat it anymore. He said, well, do like I do, get you a carrot and eat it for dinner. I said, that day, that he said, you know what I brought for my lunch today? I said, what? He said, a carrot. He said, that's what you ought to get and eat for your dinner. I said, listen, Dr. Muswell, I said, you got good teeth to chew a carrot with.
Wasn't like he used to be my doctor, but I left him.
I'm going to have to leave him because every time I go to him, he's got to do that blood work.
And another thing, every time I went to him, he had to take my clothes off. I had to take my clothes off.
He said, I'm taking my clothes off.
Is that right?
He
Every
did
time I went,
he
I
did
had-
jerk my blouse at one time and tested, listening to my back, But, I mean, as far as a physical or anything, he hasn't given me a physical. I wouldn't go to my gynecologist and get a physical if I had to take one.
I had that surgery, and the family told me that I had the surgery I had on my throat, thyroid, found that. Of course, I went to a specialist,
Right.
He's the one found all of that was wrong with me.
Well, he's so expensive, and he don't file for insurance.
No, I know that.
And you have to pay him if it's $150
You
for
have to
that
pay
visit.
cash?
You have to pay cash, and then they'll give you the receipt for you to file for your insurance. And sometimes it's 2 or 3 weeks before you get even just a meager part of it paid.
That's the truth.
I said, well, put it on him. A friend of mine, friend McCaffrey, she says, "Thee, don't you dare stop going to Dr. Musselwhite, because he's the best doctor in Wilmington, because he's her doctor." I said, well, he might be a good doctor, but I can't afford it.
Makes a big difference.
It makes a big
I
difference.
gave him a bunch of money.
You don't think to have that thing turned on me, do you? Do you have it on now?
I think.
The whole time.
I'm going to climb up. I have a rough edge on my voice, and that's the way it sounds.
Well, what did Mel
But
tell
Johnny
you?
said he was going to Hollywood to make his fortune. So he took his guitar and he run away from home. He caught rides out in the Middle West someplace, and he got so hungry he said he decided he would. And I think it was in Nevada. He stood on the street corner and played his guitar. I thought somebody, said, well, maybe some of these people, will give me a donation, And he said it wasn't no time before he had a crowd around him listening, and they would clap to the music and swing, and he was singing and playing up a storm.
And they throw money in
And
his guitar case.
I don't know whether he got any donations or not. I don't remember if he did or if he didn't, but he said after they kind of left, this man that had been standing over next to the building walked over to him and asked him had he ever thought about going to Hollywood. And he said, well, I'm heading that way now. And laughed, He said, well, and pulled out a card out of his pocket. He said, if you get out there, look up this man at some studio, and I don't remember which one it was. But he said that he got so down now and got so hungry and everything. He said he decided this freight train was going out. He went down the freight yard, and he got on this freight train with a bunch of hobos. And said before the freight train pulled out, this man that was in charge of checking the box cars come along and saw him in there and turned a hose on him and said he was wet as water. And they jumped out, and it was late in the evening, sort of dark dusk, and he said he went up to this house going down the street, and he saw these clothes hanging on the clothesline. He saw these men's clothes, so he said he got him a change in her clothes, and he didn't see anybody at home, so he got up on the porch and was going to change clothes, and said this woman come out and said, ah, and he said, don't get excited, I'm not going to hurt you. He said, I'm just wet and cold, and he said, I was wanting to change in her clothes. He said, but I'll give you my name and address. I'm from New York. And I'm going back then. He said, I'll send you the money for the clothes. And she said, no, said, that's all right. And she said, go ahead and take them. But you did frighten me. And, but she was going to call the police at first. And he said, no, please don't, because he said, I really wasn't going to harm you. I just wanted to change our clothes. So he got the clothes, though, but he got her address. And I think he sent her about $5 or $6. He said when he got back home, he was telling his mom about it. They got her for about $5 or $6. See, they were poor and they didn't have that much money back in Hoover's time,
Mm-hmm.
They sent her $5 or $6 for
I
the
bet she
clothes.
was surprised she'd ever get any money.
Probably, most probably. And he told some awful things about hobo and running away. Him and another little boy ran away from home one time. That one of his friends there when they lived on one of those streets up there, I don't know which one it was, Chauncey or anyway. He said they were going to run away, and they got their little pack sacks and put over the backs, and they went and got on the trolley. And He said they rode and they rode and rode and rode. So finally they got to the end of the line. They just knew they were way out of state someplace. And they were tired. And so they parked the trolley. The conductor came back and he said, "Where were you boys going to go?" He said, "We're running away from home." He said, "Okay." He said, "We'll get you as far away as we can." So he said in about an hour they got back on the trolley. The man got back on the trolley and he started up again to run. He thought they were going right on. John said he thought the man was going right on and on, you know. So when and they rode about an hour or two, and all at once he was right back on the street where he started.
Oh no.
And he said, the cadet said, "Okay, boys, this is your destination." He remembered where he picked them up. He put them back on right then near their home. He said that was really disappointing to us. Of course, we thought we were over in Jersey or somewhere, you know, like that. But he had a lot of experiences like that.
I bet my cousin Lily was really worried about him, his mother.
Oh, she said she never knew where he was at half the time. After he got up about 16, 17, he was always leaving home. He'd leave home, come down south there to Aunt Sudie's, stay down there a month or two. And of course, usually he would let her know when he was down here, but when he went out west, no, she didn't ever know where he was at. Yeah, he worried her right much, but I guess that's the way boys are.
Well, I know, you know, Grandma still worries.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah. Grandma Moore's got 6 boys. Giving her a hard time still.
Great day.
Oh, my
Well, they say when they're little, they're stepping on your toes, and when they get bigger, they're stepping on your heart, and I guess
Right,
that's
that's
sort
what
of
my mother used to tell me. Enjoy them while they're small.
because when they get
They're going
old.
to be stepping on your heart. And I found it to be so true.
Well, I said, John Marcus has never given me any trouble like that. He's always been a home guide, and
There are
And-
some like
he's never been anywhere much by himself. Turned off Lisa till I think something else.
Oh, yes.
Well, when Dorn was a little girl,
She's talking about Grandma Dawn, Jen.
Dorn Carroll,
Okay.
she used to love to come up to see Aunt Bee, and Aunt Bee lived right behind her. And we had just moved out then. We lived in 2 rooms. We had 2 rooms, didn't have any tar paper or whatever paper, kind of paper that was, weather paper, you know, to put on the outside of the house. You could see the cracks through the inside through the cracks, you know, and the outside. We were poor people. And we didn't have any running water or any bathroom inside or anything, so I had 2 tubs I did my washing in. And I'm standing out there, and it had poured, and you know that's a low place all through there, and it wasn't ditched, and the water stood this high, I guess, in the road. You had to, I waded to the road, the water up to my knees to get the mail. Anyway, it had rained real hard, and there wasn't that much water, but there was a lot of water standing on the ground. And here come Dorn Carroll. I'm standing there doing my washing. I'm telling you, I was just a washing away. Here come Dorn Carroll with them hands behind her like this, with them big blue eyes flashing. And I stood there and I looked at her. I mean, I washed on. I said, Dorn, I said, what have you got behind your back and your hands? She said, with them big eyes flashing, I said, what have you got, Dorn? I said, don't you throw anything on me. Her eyes just flashed, and she said, after a while, I said, Dorn Carroll, have you got a frog in your hand? She said, I'll tell you. So I said, listen. And there I was trying to get my washing. And she stood there teasing me for about 15 minutes with her hands behind her with them big eyes, with that mischievous look on her face. I said, Dorn, I said, if you throw a frog on me, I said, I'm going to spank your behind. And she said, She stood there a few minutes, and I washed on, trying to get my clothes in the rinse water, you know. And finally, she let go of something. I didn't stop to find out what she had thrown. Whether she threw a frog or what, a stick or a rock or what it was. But she took off toward home. Well, I took off right behind her, and I caught her right in the edge of the yard. And she started trying to get away from me, and I just caught her, and I turned her around, and I spanked her hiney 2 or 3 times, you know, good. And boy, she screamed like I had killed her. So Marion came to the back door. She was looking. She says, Colin said, "What's going on out there?" I said, "Get her to tell you." So Dawn went home. She was just crying. And so Marion said, "All right, tell me what happened." And Dawn was very truthful about it. She said, "I went up there and said I don't know what she said she had. It still might have been a frog." Well, she knew I was scared to death of. And so she told Marion whatever it was what I had said to her. If she threw it on me, I was going to spank her. And she threw it on me, and I spanked her. So Marion says, "All right." She said, "If Aunt Bee told you that she was going to spank you, and you did it anyway, and she spanked you, that serves you right." Said, "You won't do it again, will you?" But then, on my birthday, which was a year or 2 later, I guess, Dawn and Tommy and Bonnie came up there. They were going to give me a birthday present. They had this little box that's about this square, a little white box, and about that high, and they had it wrapped up in tissue paper with a bow on it. Come knocking up on the door, and I went to the door, and I looked at all 3 of them's face, and I said, "Uh-oh." You know, that mysterious look, you know, and they were very mischievous, all of them. And one of them, I don't know which it was, Bonnie Blue, Dawn, or Tommy, said, "We brought you a birthday present, Aunt Bee." I said, "Oh, thank you," and I took it, and so they stepped inside, and so I laid the little box over on the table. And they kept saying, "Well, aren't you going to open it?" I said, "No." I said, "It's going to be a surprise just for me." I said, "I'll open it later on." And they said, "Oh, open it now." I said, "No, I think I'll wait because I'm going to get something else I want to open along with it." So they looked all disappointed, and they said, "Well, call us when you start to open it." So I said, "Okay." So they went on out, and they come back 2 or 3 times, and I still hadn't opened it. I knew there was something funny about it. So finally, when they left about the 2nd or 3rd time, I decided I would open it. So very carefully, I took the bow off of it and opened it, and there was a little green frog sitting up in there. So I got another little box, I took the frog out, I dumped him in it, and I rewrapped the box and put the bow back on it real nicely. And so the next time they came up there, and they said, "You gonna open it yet, Aunt Bee?" I said, "Yes, I think I'll open it now." I said, "All of you come in and have a seat because I want you to watch me open it." I said, "It was so nice and you're so sweet." And boy, they just looked at one another and looked at one another. You know, those mischievous eyes and looks. And so I very carefully opened it. Took the lid off of it, and I looked in it, and it was empty. I said, "Well, what's supposed to be in it?" And boy, you have never seen such startled looks as was on those 3 kids' faces. Because the frog had gotten out of the box. The frog had gotten out of the box.
Oh, my goodness.
But then I had the frog right where I could get hold of it. And I'm not a brave person when it comes to handling any kind of insects or frogs or anything else. But I grabbed that frog, and when they saw me grab him, they tried to get out the door. I don't know which one I got hold of, but I think it was Dawn, because she was the oldest. And I was going to put the frog down her dress. And so we got out in the yard, and off all three of them got to tussling with me with that frog, and me trying to get it down. One of them's, if they can get one of them loose, they'd help, like Tommy and Bonnie help Dorn get loose from me. I'd grab one of them. And we scrambled there for about 30 minutes with that frog. And we dropped him one time, but I was fast enough that I grabbed him back in front of them. And I grabbed one and then the other, trying to get that frog down.
On their shirt.
Clothes, yes.
Get
But
down the boy's shirt.
finally we stomped on, the frog got stomped. In the commotion, you know. Well, they run on after the frog got stomped. They just run on. I said, wasn't that nice of you, gift for you children, give your poor old Aunt Bee? And they just laughed, you know.
And the poor little frog got killed.
And the poor little frog got killed in the process. When Mary was here, summer before last, I believe, or maybe it's the first or last summer when she came, it had rained a whole lot and she was spending a week or two with me. And we opened the door and the frog jumped in the house, and I like to have a connection. And Mary went, she was going to catch him. And she was trying to bend over, every time she'd try to get her hand on the frog would jump. And I said, catch him, get him out, you know. And it tickled her good. Grandma was just jumping down there after that frog, and that bee was having a conniption.
Oh.
But we had one time me and Johnny planted a pear tree out back of our house. And it had never had any pears on it before. And the first year it had pears on it, it had 2 pears. I watched those 2 pears religiously, waiting for the pears to get ripe so Johnny could have one and I could have one.
2 pears.
2 pears on a pear tree. So one day I went out there and my pears were gone.
Oh no.
I said, now who do you reckon stole my pears? So I got to questioning the young'uns, and it was Charlie, Mark, and Joey, if I'm not mistaken. Anyway, Mark, when he was here last summer,
Did he confess?
Yes, hey there.
Come on in.
You should just listen
You
to me.
doing?
All right, how you doing, Portia?
Listening to stories.
Anyway,
One's for
Mark,
you, one's for her. Like Hawaiian bread.
I went down there and asked who got my pears, and none of them confessed. So when Mark was here last summer, we were talking, he got laughing. He says, Aunt Bee, do you remember the 2 pears that disappeared off your pear tree? I think he said it was him and Charlie and Howard, I believe he said. They got the 2 pears. Confession after all those years, yes.
Oh, there's lots of things we end up confessing after we're adults and long gone, and we can't get in trouble anymore for it.
Right. It tickled me. I said, well, at least somebody ate them and enjoyed them. Oh, man. So, where do you live now?
I'm
In Wilton.
She's the one that has diabetes. Okay.
I've diabetic too.
It's
What?
something, isn't it?
Yeah. What do you take for it?
I'm just
Controlling.
diet and exercise and stuff like that.
If I was younger, I would think I would do that too, but I'm not. I get tired so easy. I just take
Well, I do too, and they have to.
Diabetic.
You know, they have to go to the wall, and I'm trying not to.
Kitty, kitty, kitty.
It's
once you get on it, you can't get off of it.
Cattle
That's the
go
thing
right
of it.
It's something I'm trying, it's a constant.
Got him right, his face is filling the whole
Right.
screen.
I take 5 milligrams of diabetic in the morning. He started me off on 2.5, and that didn't control it. So when he got me on 5, that did. It worked pretty good, yeah.
You had it all the time.
About a year now. I think it was May the 4th, 87. that.
got had a long time ago.
That is.
That's me and Emily Williams and May Williams.
Oh, here it is. Oh, I didn't.
There's me and Rock. Big brother.
Never knew Rob.
Well, he's not in this one.
Now, Mary Butler has got a collection of pictures.
She sure.
She's got one of my Uncle Joe White. And she took.
Moves her heartstrings, you know that, don't you?
Oh, yes. Now that's pretty of Portia. I knew that must
I
be
have an
Portia.
8x10.
That's real pretty. Well, she's a pretty girl anyway.
I have 8x10s over there at Nita's. My stuff is still up there somewhere.
Yeah, look at that. Megan Woodbury. I remember when they looked just like
I
that.
do too. Dedicated to one another, one.
They sure were. Catherine and Norman, I knew that was him.
That's Caroline. Well, it's not in this one.
You know who that looked like when I first... I've got a picture of Brenda Jane that looks just like that.
That's Portia.
I know it. I was covering
Yes,
it.
I got a label. That's right. She
Mhm.
looked at
Jimmy Lanier. Oh, that's Linda's son.
Jim and there. That's Betty's. Betty's Lynette Jim.
That's what I mean, Betty and Jimmy's son.
Right.
Well, I had forgotten that Portia was in the service, wasn't she?
She was in the army for
Mhm.
once. She did.
I like to go into the Navy.
She went in. She
When I
went
was
in
in-
for educational purposes more. She went in training. She was a nurse, a practical nurse. She didn't have to get her RN or nothing like that, you know. But she was a practical nurse in the Army hospital in Texas and also in New Mexico.
Well, who is this?
That's Jane. Jane Todd.
Well, that doesn't look much like Jane there. She looks too young or something.
Jane is a good-looking woman.
Yes, she was.
Last time
Or
I saw her,
is.
I haven't seen her in a long time.
Now, this is the picture we got in the church. How was Luna doing yesterday?
Doing good, dee. She looks so good.
I know.
I was surprised. She looked so much better than she did the last time I was over there, you know.
Okay.
I used to go around with Amrit Skipper, and Amrit was Miss Liz Thomas' granddaughter. So I went down there to see her one Sunday afternoon, and Lizzie and Fletcher was down there. And they used to have a side porch. They had a front porch, but they had a side porch with a swing set back on it where they sat.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in the kitchen with Amber. We had ate dinner. And Fletcher and Lizzie was out on that side porch. And they was just had their arms around one another, just a hugging and a loving. I'll never forget it.
Did anybody else see us?
Honey, if anybody passed the road, I'm sure they did. Y'all didn't care. You didn't care. You were in heaven.
We never did go off by ourselves, though. We never had a date alone in our whole life.
Had to be right for
Really?
we did.
Somebody had to be right with us all the time.
But
It's a wonder we done that. when y'all could see us.
That was that just come to me. I remember it just as good as if it was yesterday. They were out
We
on
didn't
that
do
side
nothing
porch.
wrong. All we
No.
done was kiss
You were
one
just
another
kiss,
and
love.
hugging each other, but we never done anything else.
else.
Truly, we never done anything else.
I trust you. Oh.
No, we were okay.
That
but we-
was right now, Lizzie, so that was okay.
That's all we ever done. Dee.
Right, now there's that picture of Lisa.
This is Cynthia's oldest, Dean, and here he is again. And This is her youngest one, Lee. I got to rearrange these here. Put their names in here so other people will know who they are when they look at them.
Yeah.
That's Mama and me in Woodbury.
You know who
That's
took-
the Ealer Church.
You know who took that
You
picture?
gave that to us. You gave us the picture, huh? And I had it.
That
I had
picture.
another one made from
Mhm.
and made it big.
I got that picture too.
That's me.
Lisa, that's beautiful. I started to say, well, who in the world? That's a beautiful
I've got an
picture of
8
you.
by 10. I gave
Isn't that
Lisa.
it?
That's it. Hanging on the
Mhm.
wall up there. I gave Lisa an 8 by 10. of
I
that
think
one.
I remember. Do I remember when you did Mom do your hair and everything?
No, Nita did that.
Anita did that one. I
She
remember
had
Mom
just
did
come in
one.
out of the service, and that day she said to me, she says, Mama, let's go have your picture made. I said, no, not now, not now. She said, fix up, Mama, I'm going to fix your hair now, and I want us to go over town and have your picture made. So we did. She took it over there, took me over there to the studio, you know. And
Probably Goldcraft. It used to be on Front
it
Street.
probably was. I believe it was Goldcraft Studios.
Because they used to make
And,
good pictures. Nobody went over there to have the pictures made.
But she really fixed me up that day.
Now, I've got one of Woodbury and Maggie and Aunt Queen and Lona together. Taken that same day.
We just come out
And I got one of
church.
Mr. Leroy and Arliss. Then I got one of Arliss, Mr. Leroy and Eva. I've got pictures. Lord have
I
mercy.
bet you have, Dee.
I got pictures of Miss Edna Gainey and Miss Maddie Gainey when they went to church, and James Gainey came down for vacation. He came to church. I had to snap him. People don't think about taking pictures like that of people that comes in that's
Mm-mm.
Well,
family,
that
you
is
know.
a good idea. I'm telling you, pictures are something that we cherish.
That's
As long as
I
we live
do.
and hand them on down to the children.
That's the reason I said I would love to get. Now I gave Sally and Eddie all of Eddie's school pictures from the time he was in the first grade till he graduated. And I'm just hoping their marriage don't fail and and she gets all the pictures and goes the other way with them.
Oh, I know it.
'Cause after I got, gave Barry Laura, and then she sent them Barry a piece of meat. They never had. Well, we didn't either. We were all on relief. We were all very,
poor,
very,
man.
very poor people.
And I'm not much better off now. But anyway.
Me either. But I can remember. I remember one time we stopped there, and they were getting through eating breakfast or something. And Minnie had sent over there and borrowed a little piece of fatback from Mama, and they fired that fatback. And those youngers, they were fussing over the fatback. Of course, they didn't have it, just some little
Bless their hearts.
scraps to eat.
What's fatback?
That's fat. You know, pork, when you kill a hog, you've seen it in the grocery stores. It's in white pieces. It'll be different sizes and all. It's what people usually cook in beans.
That's about all we could afford.
Or
at that time.
collards and the kind of greens, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we
Okay.
were raised on fatback, and it's bad for you. It's really bad for you. I don't eat any kind of pork whatever now. I cook with corn oil, mazola,
I do too.
because I'm not supposed to have any of that fat.
Mm-hmm.
It's real bad for you. But those kids, they were like us. They were raised up by the hair of the head.
Who is
They
this?
This is Minnie Gore's Clifton and Clarence, and
Your granddaddy's half sister and her children.
there was Clifton
Okay.
and Clarence, and what was the next one?
Bob.
Bob.
And the youngest one, the youngest boy, his name's David. And she had 2 girls.
Well, she had those after she moved out, and she and Lawrence Charles got married.
Right. And she
And they were the younger children, but the ones that she had by the Gore man, James
was only the twins
and Bob. That's the ones that were there.
Just those 3 boys.
Yes, when they lived over there in that house after Mr. Jim Tebow died, and like you say, Mary went to live with you all. So Minnie, and then after Minnie and Lawrence started going together, before they got married, I believe that she moved out and moved down there in a little born like thing across from
Right
Mary,
across from Miss Lily Peavy.
across from
right.
Mary and Miss Lily and Norman.
Mhm.
When they lived over there in that house down the alley. Boy, that's reaching back into memories.
That
When I was
is
just a little
so-
girl,
I know it.
but I remember all those when
Who
they
Oh, we were
lived over
talking Grandma
there.
Queen's sister, or brother?
No, this is your granddaddy, Fletcher. His
Sister,
half-sister.
half-sister.
Whose
And
name
her
is?
twin boys, Clifton and Clarence and Bob.
And what was
She-
his sister's name?
Minnie,
Oh, that was
Gore.
Minnie Gore.
Minnie Gore.
And
Now
Mr. Tebow.
she was Miss Lottie's half-sister or sister?
Half-sister.
Half-sister.
They were all
half.
all of them.
Yeah.
Now, who was Mr. Tebow?
There was my Aunt Mary. Aunt Mary.
Aunt Mary,
Your,
Uncle Tebow,
your grandma, Aunt Queen's
My mother's sister.
sister.
And her husband, Jim
Okay.
Tebow.
'Cause I've
Mary
heard that name a
Tebow.
lot too.
But I remember them just as good, and I was just a little girl. And how Mom and Daddy would go through there. There used to be a path through the field from our house to Mr. R. Benton's field,
I remember that very well.
over to going through there by that little house where Mr. Jim and Miss Tebow, that's what we always call them. We call them Mr. Jim and Miss Mary when I was a little girl. And Daddy and Mama, which be going through there, and right behind, we walk right through the yard and go over, as far as from here, not to the road hardly, I just want to make that trail over there, to Aunt Winnie's and Uncle Charlie's, where that was Daddy's sister and her husband. But Miss Mary and Mr. T and Mr. Jim lived in that little house there. And but we'd always have to pass it, see. And Daddy and Mom would always stop and talk to them. Maybe sit there 35 minutes, 40, an hour and talk to them, and then go on over to Aunt Wendy's, where we were starting, in the beginning probably.
Mhm.
And then maybe going on to church from there. It may be on Sunday, then about 4 or 5 o'clock, we start out, wind up at
Amen.
church. And everybody back then walked. They didn't have cars. There weren't but 2 cars in the community that I remember. Mr. Dan Mintz had one of them.
Jerry Skipper had one.
And Jerry Skipper, Mr. Jim Gainey had one, and Mr. Dan Mintz was the only 2 I remember. And then Mr. Jerry got one.
Right.
But Daddy was really, when we first moved from the old railroad place, old Charlie Gainey place, Owen place, over to the Willie White place, he had a truck, and
I remember that truck your dad had.
he used to haul everybody to the graveyard. They put people that died, they didn't embalm them like they do now, and they had pine boxes. They built the pine boxes
Mhm.
and lay them out. They had midwives.
I know what they call them boards.
Mary
They
McCray.
call them cooling boards.
Yes.
Mama used to call them cooling boards.
Mhm.
And that's when anyone would die, they died at home, Nobody went to the hospital hardly then. And they had a board that they
Mhm.
washed them, whoever dressed them for burial, would lay them out on that board until they could get the casket
Get
or what.
the pine casket.
Goodness.
with it.
The pine casket, whatever they put them in.
Mhm.
And then they would bury them.
But I remember Miss Mary McCray. Remember her? And Miss Mills.
Right.
They used to lay people out.
And Miss Blanche Nelson did too.
Really, I don't remember her doing it.
I remember her doing a lot of
Do
it.
you remember Mr. Sam Benton?
Yes.
Was he any kin to you?
Yes. He's my cousin, some distant cousin. I don't know what
Somehow,
cousin.
somewhere.
Somewhere, somehow.
Well, he and Miss Deller and Lorraine and what's that boy's name? Delmas?
Junior.
Junior. But it seems like his given
What
name
his
was.
real name was?
It seems like to me his given name was Delmas Benton. There was Delmas and Lorraine.
Yes, seems like that rings a bell with me, but I always called him Junior.
Yes, we did too. And Miss Deller and Mr. Sam. When Mr. Sam died, Miss Mills and Mary McCray laid him out, and I'll never forget it. They lived up there in the old Jones house above us, where Mr. Steve.
Mama would go up there and sit up with him, And she'd always take us children along with her, you know. And she'd throw us down on the floor on a pallet. She'd call it a pallet, you know.
Yes.
And put us 3 children down on the pallet. And she was always there when anybody got sick, or anybody died, or anybody had a baby in the neighborhood.
Well, tell me.
She was there.
Yes. Do you remember any ghosts being up there?
And it goes being up there at the June's place.
Mm-hmm. Now, Mary Butler, and we've seen this too, us children, you know, we lived down there at the old place, you know, we walked through the field from, you remember where we used to stay in the old house? And the June's house was right through the field up there.
Yes. The Bluff Road, you all lived on the Bluff Road right there one time.
Yes, we lived at the old Hansel Smith's place one time, but I'm talking about the old house down inside the store event.
Yes, I remember that.
Okay, we'd go up through the field there. And when everybody moved out up there, Lizzie, we'd hear noises up there and see balls of fire.
Goodness.
Mary Butler said
And we lived there too. We lived there a long time ago. Mama moved there from Wilmington whenever my brother, you know, Stephen, he got a job painting. He went into painting profession, you know, painting signs and whatever. And he got a good job painting, so he got to Mama, let's move to town. I'll be closer to my work, you know. And she finally gave in to him. And we moved over to Wilmington on Oak Avenue. Oak Avenue was the name of the street that we moved to. And when we moved back from Wilmington, though, to the country, we moved to that Jones place.
You know, when I was a little girl, it was empty for years and years. And then Mary Butler, Mr. Charlie Peavy moved up there with Miss Lily and Mary and Martha.
I used to go up there a whole lot home with Mary from Sunday school.
But Mary told me the other day talking, she said, when she lived up there, when they first moved up there, she said there would come a ball of fire in the window, through that side window next to the branch. See, it was a long house like this, where the branch was off to the west. And her bedroom, she said, was on the east side of the house. The front room was as you go in the front door there, and then the bedroom was off to the west.
I mean, exactly how the old house looked.
Anyway, she said they'd come, these balls of fire in that side window, and she said one night she's laying there and it come right over her, and she said it like just scared her and Martha to death.
We never did see nothing though.
But said it just disappeared just like it came in. But she said down over there next to that hickory tree on the west side of the house.
I remember it very well. I played under it so many hours and days.
They had 2 hickory nut trees and a big cedar tree.
And there was a great big oak tree in the backyard.
Yes.
We played on that tree so much, me and my brothers.
Well, she said out this side of one of those hickory nut trees, the one nearest to the branch. You remember the spring down there?
Yes, that's where we got water from.
She said out there, she said you could see all in the middle of the night or the wee mornings of she said it looked just like you were burning a pile of brush, the fires. Somebody, she said, was coming up to her house one time. I don't know whether it was Ned Gainey or somebody that was going up there to visit. And she said when they turned in up there from the old Fayetteville Road to the front of the house was going up there, said they saw this big fire burning. And said but before they got there, that fire completely disappeared. It was at night.
Goodness,
And he went in and said, well, what were y'all burning out there? And said all of them looked at one another and said, nothing. Said there was a big fire burning out there in the yard when I turned in, but said it disappeared before I got here. But said then they got to noticing, you know, several people had seen that fire.
Any rumors as to what it could have been or represented, or nobody knew?
That sounds kind of like the Mako light, the ghost up there. Mako.
I remember that. I never saw it.
I didn't either. We lived up there too.
We used to climb up on our mule stable, where the mule stage, you know, in the bend. We had a cow, on one end was the cow where the cow slept, and on the other end was where we kept the mule. And it was a long building. We climb up there at night. Me and Hazel, we tell all kind of weird tales, you know, about boyfriends and all. You know, we were great pretenders. And you could see a light up there, or off from in front of the house down toward, not right at that spring, but sort of to the northwest of it.
Perfect picture.
And they used to, Lizzie, they used to have huckleberry farms up in there. Do you remember those?
No, I really can't recall that.
You pass the spring and go up into the woods.
Up in the bay, up in
Like,
the
yes.
bay line.
They had, you could see the rows where the huckleberry bushes were planted.
I can't recall that.
I can remember when I was a teenager. Me and Pearl went up there one time to look for pick huckleberries, to look for some huckleberries. Now, we didn't know about these farms that used to be up there, but Mary Butler was telling me that's what it was. She said she remembered when they used to go up there and have strawberry farms. But we got up there in the middle way, I guess it was half a mile on the other side of where the spring used to be, going up into the bay. And we came upon this patch of strawberries. They were the biggest blue strawberries I've ever seen. And I can remember just what Pearl said. She sat her bucket down. She looked up and she said, "Oh, Lord," she says, "strike me while I'm happy. Strike me while I'm happy."
My goodness. She must have been happy.
Blue strawberries?
They were on bushes. Blue, the great big blue strawberry. I've never seen so many bushes of them. And we got our pails full of blueberries in no time. She said, "Strike me while I'm happy." And she said she remembers that. I was telling her about it. It's been about a month or two ago we were talking.
You know, a good while back, right after I moved back home from Wilmington, Pearl came to see me, and we sat here and we talked about them good old times.
And boy, I tell you,
I really enjoyed her so much. I said, "Please come back."
Do you remember Miss Dora Benton?
Oh, yes, I do. Aunt Dora. She used to
Was
stay
she-
with us a whole lot.
Was she Miss Queen's sister too?
No, she wasn't Mama's sister. She was some relation to her. It seems like she was...
Was she Miss Dora Benton's sister? Or Miss? No.
Nita's got that genealogy all about her. I can't place her, but she was Mama's aunt.
Really?
But she couldn't have been Grandma's sister, I don't think. I can't completely place Aunt Dora, but she was Mama's
Well,
own
listen.
aunt.
She must have been kin to Mr. Sam Benton,
Sam Benton was her son.
because she used to stay up there with them when they
right.
lived up there in the Jones house.
She was back and forth from Wilmington out here. Minnie, her daughter, lived in Wilmington, and she'd go stay with her a while, and she'd come back out here and stay with Sam a while, her son. Sam Benton was her son.
Well, she used to come. She'd walk down to our house and go over to Uncle Rotha's. When Uncle Rotha and Aunt Nome, when they first stayed over there, built over there
In front of,
Mr. Villeneuve.
No.
Lisa. You look good on film.
No, I don't. No. Oh, Lord, how fat I am.
There you go.
That's good.
Mm-mm.
Not me. Not me. You look at that. She's taking us already.
Now you
Lord,
can
she
see what
did.
you
Now
look
I'm going
like.
to climb up. But you know what I would love? Herbert Gainey said that he had a box of old pictures over at his house that belonged to his mama.
I'd love to see that stuff.
I'll bet you'd recognize one. I probably wouldn't recognize any of them.
And you know, be there, they're kin to me. They're my first cousins. Second
But I
cousins.
said I wondered. I'd love to find. I know I never will. But I'd love to find a picture of my grandmother.
I'm glad that
Marcellus
Grandma's
White's.
getting pictures together.
Marcellus White's wife. She was Adeline Nelson. My grandmother was a Nelson, Adeline Nelson.
Yes, I've heard about her.
And she was old man John Nelson's sister, which was Miss Jeannie Mintz's daddy, I believe.
John Nelson was Miss Jeannie's dad.
Okay,
And
my
Aunt Harriet was her mother.
my grandmother was John Nelson's sister.
Now watch this. Watch what this will do.
Bring all the wrinkles out, Cynthia.
Take them all out of me too, honey. Take them all out of me.
All them wrinkles. And we'll
So I
take
always
it-
tell everybody the wrinkles are a sign of wisdom. Right?
Well, I must be mighty wise.
I must be mighty wise too. I got 'em all down there, all up there. Look
I
where
have
bruise
really-
my arm working. The only way for me to keep from getting hurt is to quit working.
I don't know if you'll ever do that.
No, I never. And my teeth looks terrible.
You know what? One time when Johnny was living, they were having to get together at the house. There was Myron and Norma and Laura, Vivian, Gracie, Floyd, and Johnny was in the music room. And Floyd was always playing tricks, on the rest of them. So they had been singing, playing music, sitting in the groove. And Floyd says, "I'll tell you what let's do. Let's all of us pull our teeth out at one time when I count 1, 2, 3. We'll all pull our teeth out and all of us laugh at one another."
And get some new ones. I want some new ones.
No, they all had dental plates,
They
every
did?
one of them. So at the count of 3, every one of them but Floyd pulled their teeth out. And we were ready to snap pictures. I snapped pictures and seemed like somebody else, I don't know whether it's Patricia Ann or Mary or Bonnie, who it was snapping pictures too, snapped them, all of them with their teeth out except Floyd. And then they were about to kill him because he didn't do what, he was the one that suggested, they do this.
Mom did that one time. We were in New Mexico. So when we went on that trip up to Utah, and it was so hot and we didn't have air conditioning. So you know those stick candies, the flat ones like the fire sticks and the green apple candy sticks. They're about this long, about this wide, and they're flat. That was the only thing that would help keep the water, keep your mouth watering when we were eating the fire sticks. So she had it in her mouth and had just kind of was holding it with her teeth here. Not thinking much of anything, just driving, and as it was kind of melting, her teeth were hanging onto it. Well, then I had asked her something. I was sitting up front. She grabbed the candy and was going to take it out of her mouth. She grabbed the candy, opened her mouth, and pulled it out, and her teeth were stuck to the candy. I grabbed that camera so fast, so I was sitting in the front seat. That was so funny. She was hollering at me, "Don't you take a picture of me without my teeth."
Oh, man. Does she date anybody now? Or
Oh, yeah.
She does? Or
She's, yeah.
you reckon she'll ever get married again?
No.
Like me, never, huh?
She's been
just
seeing
likes
this
to
guy,
go.
though, for years. Yeah, there's got to be at least 6 years, 7 years. I think she's pretty sure she's living with him. And for a long time, he's a real nice guy. He's a real nice guy. His name is Larry.
Well, she's got somebody to be company, keep her company, right?
I
So
guess.
she's happy.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, I'm gonna turn this off.
There's a lot of that going on now. I mean, people living together.
Oh, yeah.
That's
For
the
company,
goal
just
now.
for company, and to
And
share its,
companionship.
expenses.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah. That's
right.
happening a lot.
Right.
I'll walk this way.
Do you know how to do the Zoom, Jen?
No.
Okay.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Ty Williams' School of Outdoor Cooking. Pay attention, Don, and I'll teach you how to cook. Focus in on those
Show 'em the
fish
fire.
frying there.
Cast iron pan. That's what you need. That's the trick. I had a whole set brand new.
It's raining good.
Jennifer, you sound like a broken record. Keep saying it's raining.
Raining good, she says.
Nah. Okay.
Get Grandma in the swing.
Move it slowly. Remember to hold it real still. This is my pride and joy in the summertime. I just get out and use it. Of course, not as nice as that.
Mom, plus they said that I think it was going to be tomorrow that it's going to be like in the 80s of rain. 80, 87, hot rain.
Yeah, that would be hot rain. You know what you get to do?
Hot rain.
You know what you get to do when it's hot rain, don't you?
Yep.
We don't ever get hot rain. We ever get hot rain. Look at those. Sizzling.
Took me over 30 minutes to catch those fish.
Yeah. Flounder.
Describe the flounder to it. You probably don't know about the
This
flounder.
flat fish with 2 eyeballs on the top of his head. Funny looking thing. I asked Dad, I said, well, how do these things swim? I mean, I've seen them before.
We used to go out gigging them in the shallows, you know.
Uh-huh.
And you gig them old big ones about that long and they
Woo!
pull you off the boat almost.
Really? Yeah.
On their flying.
Well, they're like my hand. The bottom side is flat. The bottom side is white. The top side's dark. And they got the mouth is sideways, you know, the mouth is up and down. But the 2 eyeballs are sitting on the top of the head.
They designed it
And they
to
just-
go off the bottom.
They do like this on the bottom.
Somebody had to design that fish, you know that?
Yep,
That don't happen by accident.
Design everything, didn't they?
that's right.
This doesn't happen.
Right.
I hear some hounds back in there.
Gonna cool the fire, girl.
Yep, remember that poem about one night at the creek?
Yeah?
I wished I had those poems that Irma got.
I'm going to ask you.
I had one about when we was kids, you know, Mama used to wash us in lye soap.
Mm.
And,
I hope she hasn't been.
then I had one, let's see, I had one about lye soap. I can't remember. I had about 15 or 20 that she got. I think she threw them away when she got mad with me one day.
She told me she threw your letters away.
Well, they was in the letter.
Necklace.
I bought her a gold necklace. She threw that away.
But she said she said Jehovah told her to keep that one.
Keep the necklace, huh?
Said it's all right for her to keep the necklace.
Don't keep the
What's the
letter.
difference in keeping the necklace and the letters? I'd like to know.
Temperature. Can't get it too hot or it burn.
How golden, yummy, yummy.
That rain gives this hot breeze. You're one heck of an explosion. Something with me.
Need a plate?
Paper plate. No, a paper plate. Put 2 of them together, Mom.
Mom,
Yeah.
telling me the time right now.
Oh, okay.
7:19.
That boy is probably waiting for you to call him. you? Yeah.
Probably might break.
He says if I knew if you needed any other.
Mom, you want to take this? Mom,
What? What?
want to take this?
Oh.
Yeah.
Scared, Jennifer? Oh, about 2 hours ago, you should have heard the birds singing. I guess maybe they knew the rain was coming. Those birds were singing and singing and singing so loud, it woke me up. I still hear some. Can you hear some of those birds? Oops, there's another lightning. Boy, I think that rain that hit our house yesterday out in California must have hit here today. Day?
Gracie said they had him here.
Hmm?
Gracie said they had him down here.
Chicken pox?
Regular screwdriver.
I don't know, John.
Come on,
Right here.
They leave that red hat one, they leave it out.
I'll get it. I'll put it back. I'm just going to screw it back in.
John, this is, come here. They love Marion today. This is Aunt Jimmy's Aunt Marion.
We were here this summer, this last summer, with all the little kids.
Granddaughter.
The kids remember Aunt Vivian is the one that gave them the coloring book and the little
Yeah.
had the crayons. You know, they associate things,
Yeah.
people with different things.
Normally I have none of stuff like that. Kids all my
Yeah, that's how they,
mine's growing up. And
they met so many people.
I don't see how they can remember them all.
Yeah,
What are you doing?
I'm filming you.
I see it's flickering on and off.
Except for the lighting is doing, I'm checking the lighting. The lighting is being,
We seen Charlie on television the other night.
oh, did you guys see him?
Yeah, did you
Wasn't-
see him?
Yeah, he had come to visit me.
I mean, did you get to see him on
And
TV?
yeah, we taped him. And wasn't that a sight?
That was
I'll tell you, we weren't there 10 minutes. We went down to the
Yeah,
theater.
how about red? Just stop it red.
No, wait a minute, come here. This is Jenny. This is Aunt Marion's granddaughter and Jimmy's granddaughter.
guys.
I'm not
And
having
this is
something
her
like
daughter, Jennifer. She's 96. And he's
Put
got a
paint on
birthday
that,
next
lay that thing on it. Get out there
Oh my
somewhere.
goodness.
Knock
Uh-oh.
your paint
The
on.
frog's eyeball
that.
just
I
fell
know,
off.
it's already falling off.
That's my great-granddaughter,
Goodness.
DJ.
Ah.
I said, you and my great-granddaughter.
Things
They've
falling
been
off.
gone off all day today.
Out playing?
Yeah, they just got back into it. Where have you been?
Just here. Staying out there with my grandma.
Did you see that?
Oh yeah. I've been spending the weekends with him. We've been going and doing things, and he's been showing me around and introducing me to people. And
I haven't seen him in such a long time, so I don't get out much anymore.
Where about the town staying at?
he's got a little trailer.
Got the
Staying
front
out
part.
there.
Where's your grandma?
I ain't seen
He's
him.
not real fun. He doesn't want everyone talking about it. He just now he just wants to keep to himself, pretty much. He's just wanting to
That's when you screwed up, Grandma.
Okay,
quiet.
don't slam it.
Grandma,
What?
Nancy did walk up the road.
Little way, only no further than wages.
Look at that.
And if they're not out playing, don't stay up there. That door's got such a strong spring to it.
Mm.
That big
Oh,
land.
this is nice. This is nice. I bet you
Yeah.
like your porch here.
Like it better than the trailer.
Of course, I haven't really
Yeah.
had much time to use it. Got it on just before Willie got in.
Well, it sure was. This is a good time to have it.
He's screened that porch. I said, come this summer, I'm not gonna have all this junk on me.
We'll have more.
No. I mean, all this just gathered up in the deal. I'm going to do like that Norma did. I'm going to fix it around and make it like a, more like a little room out here. Come out
Oh,
here
yeah.
if you want to.
Oh, this
You
is,
know.
the weather has been so nice.
Yeah,
Look at their birdhouses, Jim.
I normally paint. But I
I'll
got
tell
the
you.
about the other day.
Mom's got your mouth.
I got people listen. First
No, the
was
way you form your mouth when you talk, just like my mom.
I'd love to see that.
Just like my mom. But just sitting here watching you talk, I kept thinking,
How was she doing?
Where's
She's doing
Dawn,
good.
where's Dawn at now?
Oh,
she's
she
in
did
Austin, Texas.
That's where she'll be, when you say where it's down here in summer?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in Austin, and it's got her a nice place. I didn't go to her house. We stayed at where she works. She works at the Bergstrom Air Force Base Recreation Center. And they got about 15 single wide trailers. And you can rent them for $15 a night. It's right
That's
on the
not
lake.
bad.
Oh no. It's right on the lake. And down, they have a dock where you can rent boats and skiing and fishing equipment and all of that stuff. And so she's working there. It's just,
She likes it. That's just up her alley.
Yep. Yep.
She loves to get out and mingle. She puts me up I wish she could have had the money. Because she puts me in mind one of these socialites.
Mm-hmm.
Or would have loved to have been one anyway, She
Oh, yeah.
loves to get out and have a good time. And
She does.
Aunt Birdie was sort of like that long years back.
Who?
Aunt Birdie.
Birdie?
And that was after her and Uncle Albert separated. She used to love to get
It's
out.
hard on marriages, though.
Uh,
Being a little social butterfly type of a thing and wanting to go from here to there, and it's hard on a marriage. But,
Dawn's not married, is she?
no. She's
I don't have.
she's been seeing a guy for about 6 years, though. I don't think they'll ever get married, but
They stay together.
They'd probably get along better if they don't get married.
That's the way
Probably.
That's the way
it is.
Lisa. It's hard to take, really.
Usually they don't
But
start
that's
having
the
trouble
way
when they get married.
The biggest majority around here is doing it.
Yeah.
It ain't like they used to be.
No. Well,
But I got two that was that way. That one right there,
mhm.
Johnny and Lisa. And they stayed getting it up there.
Well, you know, they get frustrated with each other, and one will take off for a while, or the other one will take off for a while, and
I don't care how much they take off, it's not right. Not in my mind, it isn't.
but they just, you know,
But if they're willing to live it, I don't have to count for them.
that's
I
right.
can love them.
He's really a nice guy, so, and they get along great.
It's okay then.
And Renee's doing real good. She's got 2 little girls. She's doing real good.
Where's she at?
She's in Austin.
Renee is too? Well, how about little Ty?
He's out there by me. He's in San Diego.
Yeah, he's in service.
Someone told
So
us he was in San Diego. Yeah. What was that? Someone told us. That's
yeah,
what
but he's
I'm
in
sure.
the service.
He's in the Navy.
Might have been with Jim and them down Pittsburgh somewhere.
Oh, I did enjoy her being there.
Oh, I bet. I'll bet.
I wish she'd come back.
They set up a tent out there.
Oh, did they? They
Yeah.
camp out here?
Part of them
Well,
stayed and part of them
Marion stayed in,
stayed
but
behind. Some young stayed over there with
Susie's
young
whole
stayed.
family came
I thought
the
that was
last time.
Mm.
So, you know, there was a house full. But it wasn't too bad.
No,
Because they set up right here
Mm-hmm.
in front of me.
they
And,
eat in the house and that was about it.
and Susie's one of the sweetest things ever in my life.
Yeah.
When,
She cooked.
When he come here, I told Susie, I said,
It's good.
Well, I mean, you know, I'm worried up tomorrow for to do for all of it.
I told Susie, I said, there's the kitchen and plenty to eat. If you want anything else, I'll go get it. You have to do cooking. And she did.
She did. Susie's smart as a whip. And then, when Jimmy come down, the first time, he come down by himself. The next time, he come down, he had his family.
Jimmy. Jimmy who?
It wasn't Jimmy.
No, it wasn't Jimmy, it was
Charlie?
Tommy.
Tom? No.
No, it was one in the army in Virginia. What's his name?
Mark.
No, Jimmy come down, Carl, at Grace's house.
Jimmy, no, that was something funny.
Lord,
Had
the
to
one
have
that
been.
looks
Couldn't
like he
have been
granddaddy the most.
Sonny.
Yeah,
Sonny.
I can't.
Yeah, because Jimmy is
He looks
divorced.
just like his daddy.
Hey,
That's
the only
right.
thing that, the only difference
It's
in him
Jimmy
and Dad,
and
he's just a
Tommy
little bit shorter, that's
That
all.
I haven't seen lately.
If he
Yeah.
was as big, a little bit bigger, he'd be fitting him. In fact, he's fitting him anyway, he's just ain't quite as tall.
Uh-huh.
Charlie come down the year before Joe Lane. And, Lord, I got so thrilled to see him on TV the other night.
That must have been really exciting.
And Floyd missed him. He changed
flipping
channels.
around
and he
channels.
changed channels.
Well, Aunt Gracie said she taped it. I think it was Aunt Gracie.
Diane taped it, I think.
That
Diane
one
showed
is-
him on the dad.
One is in the army in Virginia,
That's
Mark.
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 He
Yeah.
come
Mark
down
and his wife
and
came down.
they stayed, well, he come down before Jimmy and he come down while they was here. He come on the weekend and I did. Then he come back while they was here.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. We missed him last summer.
Oh,
He
he's
was supposed to come back some because he's really Virginia,
They're all
close by, but he never did.
I wish Tommy would come down. Marion said that Tommy was a handful. Jimmy was a handful.
Yeah,
But it
boy.
doesn't make any difference. We got a lot of handfuls. You know
That's what I
what I mean?
was saying. I don't think
I'd
Jimmy would have
still
come
love
out
to
here.
see him. Yeah.
He's aged a lot. He does
Alright,
not
so-
look his age. I don't know if it has to do with the water out there or if it's hereditary. I don't know, or if it's not getting the right kind of vitamins or something, but you know how he's got the receding
He
hairline.
looks older than he is.
Yeah. His I just got a glimpse of him as he passed by. I was at Susie's. He came by on the motorcycle and I ran out there and hollered to him.
He didn't stop.
He was on his way somewhere and he said he'd stop on his way back, but he never did. So.
It's been a long time since I've seen Tommy.
I'd love to see
Seen all of them except Tommy.
Nobody is perfect, you know?
No.
And
Yeah, when you start,
I'd hate for the kids to stay back because
when you
they
start
think we
pointing
wouldn't
fingers,
accept them. I know that they've had, you know, they're in the dope field.
Yeah.
when people
it's
start pointing
everywhere.
fingers, that's when they're in trouble themselves.
It's
Oh
everywhere.
yeah. But they're still fun.
But I'd still love to see.
You know, Tommy's wife is the same age as I am. She's
See,
she's a
when the
doll.
last time we seen him, he was married to that woman that
Oh, with that,
they weren't
children.
they weren't his children. It was somebody
That's
else.
Beverly.
Oh,
But-
Beverly,
Huh?
them young and grown.
That's Brenda and Chris. Chris is dead.
But
You
we
heard
ain't
about
seen
that,
them-
didn't you?
We ain't seen them, but they
Yeah, Larry took them in just like her grandyoungest too. She told me about Chris. Hated it.
And Brenda, I don't know what Brenda's doing now. I didn't see her last time.
Is little Ty, is he on a shift or just station out there?
They come and go. As a matter of fact, they've been out for 3 weeks, and he'll be back Tuesday because he's got a girlfriend now. Pretty steady,
So glad.
real steady. And he has pretty much decided that he wants to stay out there. I'm so glad. I'm so glad.
Well, most of all of you are out there now. You know what I mean?
That direction,
Over
yeah.
as kin people, yeah.
Well, it's closer from Utah to California than it is from
Utah
Texas
here.
than it is from here. It's a
Oh,
long way
yeah.
from here to California.
We're only 13 hours, about a 12, 13-hour drive from Charlie and Jolene.
Well, that's not bad at all.
No, we made the trip to California, Wisconsin one. I'll tell you, that trip to California was a long haul. We pulled
That
a
was
travel
a while
bag
back.
out.
Mm.
But we took our time. We just didn't do no night driving hardly, and maybe 4 or 5 hours.
We
a day. It took
stopped.
us about 5 days to go across.
You
Yeah.
know, we didn't. We stopped and rested.
It took us that long to get out
Cooked us a
here.
regular meal. You know, took our time.
We'd go stop by a grocery
Didn't
store,
cost
during
us
the day, and
anything.
buy our groceries and stop somewhere.
Really?
Nothing but our gas and our food,
Which
We
you'd have to
stopped
pay
it.
for your food anyway.
right? We
Yeah.
stopped at overnight places like, you know, campus. and
Out west out there,
Mhm.
most of them places, it was free. They had full camping places for anything, just like you pay for these out around here. And we didn't spend any. Coming through to Georgia and Louisiana, a place like that, we'd pull up under a big oak tree and sometimes stay all day on the right side
Yeah.
of the road.
Well, that's a way to travel, though.
Yeah,
Just take your time and enjoy
right.
it.
And we went.
How'd you like flying, honey? The airplane.
First one was around 1,000.
Oh,
She
boy.
was a little scared at first.
I got my first one to go on yet, too.
You have never flown?
No,
Really?
I don't think I want to either.
I
It's
used to go up just for the fun. I used to take somebody's place just to
Carl,
get it, but I don't be the hog time and get
that
there.
was when he was in the
You're
service.
dead up there.
Hmm.
They get a
Back
chance
then
to
we
fly
ride on
the
them just
computer
to-
around.
Just to break monotony or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want there, we're not that.
Yeah, Jennifer was kind of nervous because on the takeoff,
Like
you're
that
looking out the
She
window.
gets sick.
No, I was sick.
Like that little on the back of the battleship over there in North Carolina, say that? I
You
used to
get
go over
sick.
them all
You
the
get,
time.
you get sky sick.
No, but I did. I had gotten sick. I was supposed to leave early Thursday morning. Wednesday night, I got the flu. I heaved and heaved. I never usually throw up. Even when I've got morning sickness, I'm so nauseous, but I never throw up. Boy, I did. I don't know if it was nerves or if I had the flu, but I carried a Ziploc plastic bag Because we're about an hour from the airport, and I didn't know if I'd even make it to the airport. I did, though, and
She made it on the plane.
I did okay on the plane. I just prayed and prayed and prayed. Please don't let me throw up on this airplane, because it's, you know, it's so embarrassing. You know, it's like being on a bus, a Greyhound bus,
And you can't
and throwing
double
up.
stop, baby.
And
Stop.
yeah, you've got people all around you looking at you, you know. Oh. And I thought, oh goodness, don't let me throw
Well,
up
the
on this airplane.
pills that you can get, they say.
Yeah, it just took me about 24 hours. Because by the next, let's see, by Friday morning, I was fine. I was nauseous all day Thursday. We got in about 3:30. Thursday afternoon. And by Friday morning I was fine. So, I just didn't eat much or anything. But I'm not used to being sick like that.
Oh, boy.
I'm never, you know,
Are
I'm
you flying back?
We're leaving Monday morning.
Is it very costly?
It's $240 for a round trip.
Well, that's not bad.
It's not that bad.
Well, what about her?
Same. It's the same price for her. She paid for half her own plane ticket.
You're kidding.
You know how? She got the part in the new Pee Wee Herman movie.
You did not.
Just as an extra, they were sitting they sat in the crowd of the circus and cheered and hurrah-rah'd, and they got paid $40 a day.
Well,
So that's
I'll
how
have
she
to
paid
look
for her
for
plane
you.
ticket. I don't know if you'll, I don't
what
know
is it? What's the name of it?
called
Big Top Pee Wee.
Big Top Pee Wee. It's got Chris Christopherson in it. He's a flirt. He sings, if you know who he is.
Oh, Chris
Chris
Christopherson.
Christopherson.
Yeah. I bought one of his first albums. He sang Why Me Lord.
Mm.
But on the cover of the album, he was holding a wine bottle. I mean, that was one of his feet, and that's the only thing that made me sick with him.
He kept flirting. Me and this other girl were sitting right where he could see us as he was doing his. It has something to do with these people shrink down to little people. And his
Where were
girlfriend
you
happens to be
sitting?
mechanical. By the, where were you sitting?
So if I
I was
see,
sitting in the front.
Front row by the band.
I'll have to check you out. What did you have on?
A red sweater and a plaid skirt. It's
Me
supposed
and
to take
Matthew.
place kind of like in the 50s.
Me and
Matthew had on the blue sweater, didn't he?
Okay, I'll tell you. Over there by the band, it was one of my friends, then me, then Matthew, and then other girls in green.
She has piano fingers. Does she take lessons?
No, not yet. She hasn't
Oh,
figured out.
goodness,
She's got to get her schooling
got
figured
beautiful
out.
long fingers.
We're trying to get her situated in school, and then she can take something else.
Are you doing good in school, Jennifer? Huh?
Yeah.
Or you like Thomas down there? Thomas could be good in school if he would be good in school.
She's good in school. She just doesn't like to do the schoolwork.
Well, I can say the same thing about him. He's good in school, but he don't like to. No, down here, they took them right from the little grades, like they used to teach them,
Mm-hmm.
and switched them up to doing 6th grade work when they were in the 3rd grade.
Really?
John and Thomas have the same books. Now John is 3 years older than Thomas. And they did it in such a way till Thomas failed, they were going to fail Thomas.
Oh, really?
And I wouldn't let him.
They didn't do it
I
gradually?
told them, no. They had the same science book, same projects.
Mm.
And they didn't teach them the basic, like, you know, we were coming up, it used to be see, dig, run, dig, run. I mean, to
lot
give
of
the kids
repetition.
the C's and these and that and, you know, the small one, he could say big words, but he'd leave out his
The small ones.
little ones where he should have them. I do.
All the goodies.
Here.
Want to take a picture in there?
There's a big baby.
Bye-bye.